Back with Currently in Progress, episode 5. We got Robert Gaillard, a guy I know as the knuckle touch guy at the gym, but turns out he's done a lot in his life. So I got him to sit down at the gym that we work out in one of their back offices, and we got this podcast in right before he had his next client come in. So before that, I just wanted to apologize. I was traveling too much to be able to post these podcasts, but now I'm going to drop a couple to make up for it. We will keep running it from here. I'm back home. I'm going to be home for a while. Got a new job. So the podcasts are going to keep coming strong and consistently every week. So please stay tuned and let's get back to chatting with Rob. I just want to say one other thing too, but happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
That's
Appreciate
pretty cool.
it.
52.
Yep. 52 today, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Are we rolling?
Yeah. So
Right
let's start off. Because I really only know you as a trainer here.
Sure.
What kind of hats have you worn in your life or currently wear?
Many hats. We'll take it back to just straight out of high school, straight into the Marine Corps.
Yep.
Served 5 years in the Corps, one combat tour overseas, and rolled back from there, and then I went into the college hat, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
Studied exercise science out at CSULB, which is Cal State University Long Beach, and I did that for a bit and did training out in California, Gold's Gym, Powerhouse Gym, and then I had a company called Introspective Fitness, which was my own personal training company. Then from there, went ahead and went forward into Arizona. Moved out there and we opened up a strength training gym with a few other guys out there. It was core training at the time. I was involved in some of the logistics, putting it together. I wasn't an actual owner in it, but I was involved with the building and prepping and getting it all ready.
Gotcha.
Probably about the same size as this gym here. It's more sports specific and stuff like that. And then, then I had some issues with being in the Marine Corps, and ended up getting some help with that stuff, like a lot of the other veterans and stuff. So that led me into more rehab and getting my mindset straight again after serving overseas.
Yep.
And that's when the gym pretty much became an integral part of my life,
Yeah.
even more so than it was as a younger person.
Yep.
Because that was a way of rehabbing for me, and a way of, extending out my stress and getting rid of it and allowing me to be a healthier person, so to say.
Yeah.
And then met my wife while I was in Arizona, going through some of that. And then we came out here, and we've been out here for 15 years now.
Dang.
So, and then it's just been training out here. Was working with Mountain Tan Campus Laundry for a while over here on Broomfield.
Yep.
Was just a worker when I came out here. I had nothing. So we had a baby on the way, and I said, I got to do something.
Yeah.
So I started working there and built my way up to a managing partner, and always stayed in the training industry, always.
Yeah.
That was my outlet to kind of resolve stress and everything else. And here we are now at Evolution.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this is got to be one of my favorite places to be at the time.
Yeah.
Evolution has been extremely healthy and extremely great environment, especially with the crew that's here. We got
Yep.
Ben, we got Kyle, we got Sabrina trains with us, we've got Hayden, Tyler, just the whole crew here.
Yep.
And then people like yourselves too that train
Yep.
here. It's extremely motivating.
Yeah.
It keeps me healthy every day.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I guess we'll get into it later, but there's a lot of weird shit to have guys in the Marine Corps and stuff we go through, and you gotta find outlets for that.
Yeah.
Not just cognitive therapy outlets, but physical outlets.
Yes.
To allow yourself.
So when it comes to like how you say gyms being your stress reliever,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people out there that literally they never see the positives come to fruition when it comes to training.
Yeah.
They don't they get in for 2 weeks, they get in for 3 weeks, and then they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So what could you kind of tell those people in a sense obviously how you use the gym,
Mm-hmm.
being such a stress reliever, such a mental relief to you.
Yeah.
How do you think that what you've been through can translate to other people in that sense?
I think it's the difficult times that you go through that create the consistency of the good times.
Yep.
So whether it's military, whether it's a divorce, whether it's you just going through your own self-analysis, the physical exertion and the mental exertion that comes from the gym and the longevity of that, the consistency is the key to that, is when you begin to get better in certain ways. So you've got endorphin rushes, you've got adrenaline rushes, you've got mental rushes, you've got everything you need in that little gym with consistency that allows you to become a healthier person, both spiritually, physically, and mentally, all the way around. And that's what it's done for me. Outside of regular therapies and stuff I do with the VA, this is my house. This is where I love to be.
Yeah, and you can tell that when you're here too.
Thank you.
Just knuckle touch, like everyone knows when you show up. It's
That's cool.
It's nice.
I appreciate it.
It's nice.
It's good for me too.
Yeah, it's definitely bringing that energy to the facility is something that people can kind of like expect when they're here. It's nice.
That's a great follow up to what you just said, because that's another, to add to your question. That's another additive to it for sure.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's definitely something you want to see in a gym, or you want to notice while you're at a gym. Yeah. You don't want the people to just be like. It
reduces the intimidation factor.
Oh yeah, because that's one of the biggest things for people, and it's so like. You don't want to have to ask people like, "Are you on this machine still?" Because then everyone just like looks angry. It's like, "Nah, bro, like you're good." Like,
you're exactly right. Yeah, there seems to be an unspoken communication, especially in this gym.
Yes.
And a lot of your hardcore gyms, you don't get that. Like you said, the intimidation factor's there. But here you walk in, and it's such a positive light here. I mean, especially for myself, and I'm able to exuberate or emulate that on with everybody else. I mean, I've always been this way, but
you can do it more so here.
Yes.
So when it comes to being back in like California and doing like Gold's Gym and all the like the very beginning, how was your like as a personal trainer? How did you learn like obviously just the beginning, like breaking into the field? Like obviously like I have a personal training NSCA. I also getting an exercise science degree.
Nice.
So once I pass this class this semester, I'll be graduated.
Nice.
So that's kind of the whole thing. Go out west, visit gyms, see what I can do.
We're in for a surprise. It's a good time. I'll fill you in too.
That's what I'm saying. You're great to talk to about it. So like when you started off your personal training, what were kind of like some downfalls to it, some perks? Obviously, just what was it like?
I think for me, I was already into training, so I was already in the gym. And I was like you. I was at Cal State University Long Beach. I was studying exercise science at the time. I had just a general certification while I was doing that, because I was studying for the CSCS and the NSCA at the time. And of course, you have to be, have a science degree to even go there. But in the very, very beginning, I think the hardest part for me was just the business establishment of it. It wasn't so much necessarily just being in the gym, but it was just making sure I had all my P's and Q's, or my T's slashed and my I's dotted. Starting the business as just DBA, doing business ads, and getting involved in the business aspect of it, and then coming in some of the pitfalls in the beginning were it just took time to get to kind of know people, and then people got to know me. And I took a genuine interest in training, kind of like how I see you in here. You're very motivated. You're very into what you're doing. You're sport specific, and people notice that. So the pitfalls really were, I didn't have too many pitfalls. I was actually very lucky. I had a great clientele, people that were serious. I was actually turning people away for a short period of time. I was so busy, and it was all referral. I think some of the pitfalls were in the larger gyms. Not quite as classy as here, a little more undercut, other trainers trying to undercut trainers, but I personally never had that issue because I was so well-rounded and I believed in what I was doing, where others were just there for the money, or they were just there, trainers are making 50 to 100 in Cali, and you don't even have to be that good. You can take a weekend course and be certified. There's very few that have the degree, and it takes a lot of time to get that degree.
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't say that's a pitfall. I would say that's an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just hard to get through the exercise science program. It's not easy.
For sure.
It's definitely.
I think just throughout the getting my experience of getting an exercise science degree, I think I've learned more about exercise in the past year after school than I ever knew during school. Like, you obviously get that foundation, you get that base.
Sure.
You get to obviously learn the basics.
The mechanics.
The mechanics.
Yeah, the kinesiology.
And it's like you don't know it at the beginning, but like that's kind of all like, not the bro science, but you get a lot of it. You know a lot of that basic stuff prior going into it, or at least you think you do.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you think you do. And then you get that kind of, and then it's all like, you know how the answer is always, it depends. Like when someone asks you, what do I do? It's like, well, it depends, you know, what you're looking for. And people just, once you ask the question, it depends, then you really start to think, like, what's the best situation, what's the best exercise for this, what's the best exercise for that? And just having your mind open to that kind of possibility it's crazy.
It's endless. And the beautiful part of that is, like you said, each person is independent and has their own goals and needs.
Yes.
So when they say what's the best movement or what's the best nutrition, that's when the analysis comes in. That's when you start breaking down things through deductive reasoning and realizing that, okay, here's John Doe and here's Sally Ann. You know, two completely different people.
Yep.
So sure, those people have to listen and be, you know, educated as well, but it's us who does the analysis, the deductive reasoning, you know, figuring out what's going to be best for them in all the different realms of whether they're training, nutrition, sleep, everything that you need.
Yeah.
So
what's actually going to work compared to what are they actually going to do?
Exactly.
So, like, you know, you can't just give them a crazy plan and then expect them to just, like, you know, like, people just don't do that.
Yeah, you got to crawl before you walk, right?
You got to, and it goes right back to the consistency thing.
Absolutely.
People don't understand, like, it doesn't happen overnight, obviously. And a lot of people do know that.
Yeah.
But then they think about it for a sec, like, they're like, they go to the gym, and then maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they're just not seeing the results they want. And it's like, well, what are you really doing at the gym?
Right, or what are you doing not at the gym?
Exactly.
So let's figure out, it's got to be transparent.
Yes.
And that's, like you said, let's go back to the pitfalls of getting into training and, you know, helping people. One of the largest pitfalls is the transparency and being able to really understand either your client or just anybody that you're helping. Because if they're not 100% truthful with you, you can't necessarily help them to the full degree.
Oh, yeah.
Then comes the inconsistency. Then comes the pitfalls for them because they're not seeing what they want. But you got to make sure that they're being truthful with themselves. Yeah. That's the hardest part because you can't be with them 24/7. It's just impossible.
It is.
You know, but you can tell. There's little signs that you can tell on people. Like
especially
eating that pizza last night for me. I'm coming in an extra 3 pounds today. But I feel good. I'm carved up. So
then, I don't know. Those are sometimes the best lifts right
yes,
there.
they are. Yeah,
oh my
without
gosh.
a doubt. So
it's
that's
fun.
when you're those are the great lifts, man.
So you also said that you went to Arizona and then you opened that strength
core training was
training.
was sport specific training. Worked with some athletes.
What kind of athletes did you work with?
We worked with some guys from ball, over in ASU.
Yep.
Doing some of that stuff, doing sport specific training.
Yeah.
Some football training, stretch reflex responses, things like that. PNF stretching.
Yep.
Just all the stuff you learn in exercise science that you would do for elite athletes.
Gotcha.
The beauty of that was that right prior to Arizona, when I was studying in California, I worked at a clinic in Yorba Linda for 2 years, and that's where I learned massage techniques, and I was doing my clinical time there. Back then, I don't know how it is now, the exercise science program was enough to go, and now they've got the PT programs. Everything's changed so much. I mean, we're talking, 1996, a little bit ago there. A lot of things have changed. So, yeah.
That was before I was born. I was born in 97.
That's classic.
But yeah, so getting back into it, like what else? Here we go.
Oh, let's go back to core training. You were asking. Yeah. So core training was just something that we kind of fell across. There was a couple guys that I was training with after I had met my current wife. I had gone through a divorce, and I was just kind of trying to figure out what I was doing at the time. And then I was down in Phoenix, and I drove by, and I saw this place, and these guys were out there looking at it, and I was like, what are you guys doing out here, man? They're getting ready to open a gym. So there was a couple different investors, and I was like, well, what kind of gym is it going to be? It's going to be sports specific. We're going to have personal training. So I did training there for a while. And we drove all the way to Oregon to go get all the floor mats and everything. Had a big old U-Haul and everything around up there, and we dismantled another gym, brought that down. So we were there from the base up, building it from the bottom up. Which was pretty awesome. And then I trained there for, I don't know, maybe a year or so before, maybe maybe a year, 2 years, if I remember correctly, before we came out here to Michigan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What moved you out to Michigan?
Well, yeah, shoot, we can go deep on that one. Probably the ex-wife and just the fact I had a child on the way, and it was just time to. Tina's family was out here,
gotcha.
And we had some more support out here. Like I said, at that particular time, I guess was not going too deep. I had to take care of some mental stuff and everything, being in the Marine Corps, and I had a kid on the way, so I went over to some rehab stuff over in Prescott, Arizona.
Gotcha.
Nothing to ever be ashamed of. No Marine or no service member should ever be ashamed to get help from them being in the service.
For sure.
So that really helped me. I went for 90 days, and then I flew out here and just went right into the tanning and laundry business originally over here at Mountain Tanning Campus Laundry.
Gotcha.
I got set up through a friend who just gave me a job at, like, it was $6.25 an hour with a kid on the way. And here I am, like, 35 years old. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do, man? Can we cuss?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? So and then I worked my way up to managing partner there.
Yeah.
And then the whole time I was training at CMU for a while, because I went back to CMU to get another degree, which I did my entrepreneurship and then a minor in psych and a minor in industrial technology at the same time. Some of my stuff from the military transferred over. And then was over at Mountain Town for a bit, which we'll go past that. Yeah. And here I am over here. So yeah.
What's crazy is that my dad actually, he got laid off when I think it was 2008, and he bought a tanner and a laundromat.
Yeah, we were booming back then.
Yeah, it was honestly pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then
so he did the combo too. Yeah.
He bought the combo, and then he mainly did it to where he would have an office to do his sign business out of.
Sure.
So he did it all his like he did vinyl lettering and stuff like that. So from like 8th grade, I'm pretty sure 7th, 8th grade, every summer was
for you,
working at a laundromat. Just wake up at 8 a.m., go clean it, and sit there
constantly.
Sit there and just wait for tanners. And I mean, it's not
as glorious as you think it is, man. It's
not at all.
24/7 work.
Yeah, you just sit there, and I mean, there's always something to do.
Always broken. Something's always broke, or somebody, broken acrylics, broken washing machines. So it's a lot of maintenance. But
for sure.
And you learn a lot about people there too.
Yes, and like the whole customer service kind of side of the business, because like. Obviously at the beginning, and I was a kid, so it was pretty easy just to get convince me to do all these things. But my dad would just be like, "Hey, like if there's anyone that comes in the door, like hold the door open for him."
My man, that's what I used to do here.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you gotta I mean, I get we don't have automatic doors, and you're sitting
Neither did
there.
we.
Yeah, you're sitting
people
there
with the carts.
Yeah,
you're nailing it, man.
And
crazy.
It's hard. It's obviously it's just a pain in the ass to walk in the door like that.
But that door opening for someone is a huge freaking gentleman type thing, and it just makes the customer service amazing.
Oh yeah, and just having it be clean. Yeah, and everything.
Cleanliness as well.
My dad gets people commenting on that all the time. Like we just we live right next to another laundromat, but we come here because at least this one's clean. And
that's same. It's like.
You got to do it.
That's ironic that we're talking about that at this time.
It always happens on these podcasts.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's always a connection that you
Something
never really
that you pick
know.
Up. So I could tell with your customer service too, or just how you are as a person. You're pretty outspoken in here. Yeah. You keep to yourself when you train. Yeah. But you're very always willing to help people. Oh, yeah. You're very conversational. Yeah. So that's probably why we got along from the beginning. You got to be. Yeah.
And you just got to I mean, you never know what other people are doing in the day.
You have no idea if they're hurting or what's going on. And it's much easier to be kind than it is to be a dick.
Exactly.
It takes more effort to not open that door than it does to see somebody and open that door. Exactly. I mean, it's that simple. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's super, and it makes their day.
Sure.
And literally, what did you lose out of it?
You got up and did a little exercise for a hot second.
Exactly. It's not like a pain in the ass. No. It's pretty easy. Yep. Oh man.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So going back to now we're back in Michigan.
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of weird. Me and my buddy went to Mountain Town yesterday to check it out, and we went there and we worked out for an hour, and we're sitting there and we're like, this isn't. It's not like. You don't even know what to do. You kind of get flustered with all the equipment that's laying around and stuff, and it's just
a little unorganized.
Yeah. So it was dark. I don't know what it is. It was weird. It's just
trying to make it into a dungeon or something.
Yeah, I was like, what is? And there was another thing on the wall, and it kind of struck me, and it was, this isn't there's no Smith machine here. This isn't the gym for that.
That's odd.
It's very
even
odd.
Your pros that are training in your Golds in your powerhouse, everybody's got a Smith machine. It's a standard issue.
Yes,
for a gym.
There's a lot more you can do with the Smith machine that you can never.
Maybe it's a little too expensive for them. Strike that from the record. Who knows?
I mean, I can.
Just leave it as is. I could care less.
No, but there's another guy that he was an NFL player, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, but a lot of trainers are getting it now. It's pretty much a Smith machine, except it can go forward and back. Mm-hmm. So not only is it on this track,
not only is it vertical, but it's horizontal as well.
Wow! But the grips, where you put your hands is a like a lever.
Mm-hmm.
So
it allows you to move it, yeah.
when you let it go, no matter where it's at in the thing, it locks.
Oh wow!
So if you want to do
forced reps or whatever, and then you get stuck, you just release your hands.
Release hands, and you're good. Or you sit there and you do Olympic lifting.
Yep.
And you sit there and you
do a clean
or a snatch, and then you can't handle it. Just all you gotta do is let go and it stops.
Well, that's going to be some injury avoidance, which is nice.
But I wanna see, because there are a lot of people I see like PJF and other trainers like that have it, and it's kind of cool to see on Instagram and stuff. It's just the technology is advancing when it comes to
all the mechanics seem to be the same. But you've got more engineering. This is, like you said, that's advancing. We went from free weights to hammer strength to now, Cybex, and we've got all these other new companies coming out, like you said, that are, the Smith machine. I've never even seen it. I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, it's sweet. So in comparison to like how you see gyms now, how were they back?
Oh God, yeah. Let's go back a little further for you. I started actually bodybuilding and training when I was 15, 16. I was in high school. I was surfing every day. I played a lot of soccer. Played AAA for a while. I played in Ireland as a teenager. Played soccer since I was 5, and then I was surfing since I was 12, and then I just got the bug, with the bodybuilding. And Lou's gym, which was in San Diego at the time, was a high-rise warehouse of totally old equipment, just classic old school style, like Dorian's Dungeon or something like that. And I did my first bodybuilding show when I was 17, and Lou sponsored me, and I trained hardcore there, just as hard as I could as a teenager. Was trained all natural, didn't do anything crazy. And I won my first teenage show at 17, and best overall poser, everything there, because I had a guy help me choreograph actually in the beginning, and then I was just able to take off from there. My mom's a musician, and she's played music all around, and she's pretty awesome. I learned a lot from her. Then I went in the Marine Corps, obviously, and then it was about another few years after that I started to get more into bodybuilding. But to talk about the gym transition, I went from Lou's gym to the Marine Corps gym. I even trained on the ship when I was overseas in the Middle Pacific. We had a gym in the front of the USS Bellowoods. So gyms, as a progression goes, those 3 progressions were pretty much the same, because nothing new was really being introduced. And then when I went from that stage over to CSU, I got out of the Marine Corps. I still ran the Marine Corps gym, but I was also training at another gym too as well, and gyms were starting to progress, getting more. We even had a Smith machine there back in the day to go back, and that was 1992 is when I got out of the Marine Corps. So I ran that gym, went to Cal State Long Beach to about 96, I think 97 is when I graduated, and then I was training out of Gold's Gym. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit. I was training out of Powerhouse Gym on Main Street in Huntington Beach. I lived right around the corner there. Dang. That was the mainstay of my life. That was the heydays, man, there. So full open gym. We had Dennis Newman was training there. Sean Ray was training there. I was training there. I was up and coming. Big Hank Hill, bless his soul, he's passed away now, one of the strongest men in the world. He used to train there, a whole bunch of us. But that's when the equipment started to get better and better and better, to go back to what you asked. And the Powerhouse Gym there I trained, also Powerhouse in Fountain Valley, and then Gold's Gym in Huntington Beach as well. So the equipment started to advance at that stage. Like we went from just general free weights to Cybex was really big back then. Nautilus was coming out. Hammer strength was really coming in with the engineering, different lever systems. And then, that's kind of where I maintained until I went to Arizona, and then we had our own sport-specific gym, so we had nice equipment in there because we had investors on that one, or the other 2 gentlemen did. I was involved with the building of it, and and here I am today. So and they've got great equipment here. The Evolution has done an amazing job as far as not only having all the equipment, but keeping it updated. I think we had a couple machines down, and the owners went out and got all brand new cardio. The cardio here is amazing.
I did,
and you train here too. Everything's kept up to par.
Oh, for sure. And then you got the Instagram post I saw the other day that something else is coming in.
So it's great.
That's it's crazy because I don't even know where they're gonna have the room. If they keep
Right,
at this
right.
pace, they're not gonna have the room for it. But
It's one of my favorite gyms of all time.
Yes.
Without a doubt. And
Yeah.
not only that, but my daughter, I train my daughter here 3-4
Yeah.
days a week too.
That's awesome.
And that's just been an incredible bonding situation
Yeah.
for me as well. That's like therapy for me too.
Oh, for sure.
So I guess to say back, one of the benefits outside of all the new equipment shit coming in is just the fact that this place has a really nice family-oriented setting.
Yes.
And at the same time, you can get the hardcoreness out of it that you need.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's too many
No one
negative
really
people in
cares,
here at
yeah,
all.
no.
I haven't seen anybody, like
and usually when you see like the more hardcore people,
Yeah.
like everyone kind of stops and watches for a second.
Sure.
They're just like, okay, well, we'll chill out, we'll watch this, and then you get back to whatever you're doing.
Right.
Like everyone understands that like we're just here trying to get better, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if you're gonna be loud for a second, like we know, like we can see that you're gonna
Yeah.
do it. We'll be cool with it for a second, then get back to what we're
Yeah,
doing.
we got people surrounding around supporting.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also like one of the other great things was helping Ben prepare for a show.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina, Kyle. I mean, there's so much positiveness involved here in this gym.
yeah.
I've never seen so much collaboration
Yeah.
between people that are not competing against each other, but competing within each other.
Yeah.
To make sure that everybody's positive and
Yeah.
happy. It's been amazing.
And like all the like getting the lights in
Yeah.
that one room
Yeah.
just for like, I mean, you always see it, but like you guys always are in there posing, and it's just
Sure.
like, well, let's one up it. And
Yeah.
let's do that. And that was cool because you did have the stand. Just
I brought
on
all that in,
on
yeah.
a stand.
Yeah.
And then you guys mounted it up top,
Yeah.
made it way
Better.
way better,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's cool. Just knowing that the owners are like, do
They
whatever
were
you
cool
want.
with that, yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like if you want to make it better, make it better.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like this,
Yeah.
even this podcast, just to make sure, I reached out to Adam and Tracy to let them know, and they were like, "Please do,
Yeah, go
come
ahead.
into our facility and broadcast out of there." So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
You know.
I'm pretty happy that we could do it here too. It's,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
it doesn't
good
matter
setting.
where the setup is as long
Right.
as you're communicating and having
Yeah.
those talks.
For sure.
Back to California, just
Sure.
because I'm going out there and I'm super interested.
Right, right.
But like surfing, how fun is that?
Surfing is. I'm going to tell you, it's right up there with freaking bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because you imagine getting up every day at 5 a.m. and hitting a dawn patrol and just rolling out, whether it's a summer in a spring suit, weather's freaking 70, 80 degrees, offshore winds, and you're catching tubes, riding green rooms all day, getting done with that, rolling over to school or whatever you got to do,
Yep.
then hitting a midday session, and then hitting a freaking evening session, man. It's insane.
Yeah.
That's the culture I grew up around.
That's
so,
awesome though.
it was great. California is so diverse. I mean, we would surf in the morning, in the winter, and me and my bro would grab my little Toyota truck and blaze up to freaking Big Bear and go snowboarding in the evening. I mean, it's just crazy. It's
can
that
do it,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah, you could be at the beach, and then 2 hours, 3 hours later, you could be in the mountains snowboarding. It's just amazing.
That's awesome.
California's got everything to offer, but it's also got a lot of weird going on out there too.
Oh, yeah.
But you heading out there is going to be a life changer for you
Yeah.
if you haven't been yet.
No, I have not, and
You're gonna,
I can't wait.
And before you go, we should probably get together and talk about maybe like some type of tour way system that you would go. Where maybe you would start from San Diego and work your way up.
So,
or
yeah.
from the northern down south.
Exactly. I don't know exactly which direction we're going,
Yeah.
but one of the whole main concepts of this trip is to hit gyms.
Sure.
Because obviously I want to get a job, and if I can get a job in a gym, I mean,
Yeah.
great. So there's only a couple gyms that me and my buddy are going, and he's a big gym freak too. He moved out to Oregon right after high school, and he started doing CrossFit.
Nice.
He got really big into CrossFit. He's not in so much as now, just because he got into work and everything. But he was planning on getting in the games and everything. Like he's a pretty yoked dude.
Right.
So me and him want to obviously go down, and I was gonna get with you. More so, I want to obviously you got the Gold's gyms and you got like the chain gyms. But what kind of other gyms out there would be good for I mean, it's like Evolution, like the small mom and pop gyms.
Yeah, there's I don't know if Lou's is still in business. We'd have to find out. He's moved once or twice. I think last time I was down there, I trained. He was in the San Ysidro area, but he might be in San Diego now, which is closer to the border.
Yep.
And then you've got a few other gyms out there. Last time I was out there seeing my dad was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and there's a couple chains out there that are kind of like Planet Fitness, but a little bit more hardcore. But the only small gym that I recollect off the top of my head is Lou's in San Diego, and then as you come up into the Orange County area, from San Diego, of course, you've got your Golds there in Huntington Beach, which I'm sure is probably still there.
Yep.
I'm not sure where the powerhouses are. Those have been, I don't know what they did. I know they were having some whatever issues for a while, but, I'm sure they're still pumping. I think that the Beach Brothers still own that whole chain. I'm not sure. But to answer your question directly, I know Lou's would be a good one for you to see if they're still around. And I would probably just research gyms in geographical areas, and then you and I could go over it and kind of see what I remember.
Gotcha.
What is there.
And like, have you ever been to Muscle Beach? I've always seen that.
Yeah.
And that's just
Muscle Beach is great. I competed and won all 3 shows in 1 year. So I won the 4th of July, the Memorial Day, and gosh, what's the other one? I can't remember. But they have 3 shows every year.
Yep.
And that was I'll have to bring you a picture. I want to say, 1998. And I was the first one to win all 3 shows as super heavyweight. And took the overall that year as well. And that was the highlight of my bodybuilding career, is when I took 3rd at the Mr. Cal in 96, if I remember correctly. And then that time frame, I'd probably done like 12 or 15 shows.
In that 3 years?
Yeah, 2 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
18 months, I think it was.
Gotcha.
I was just banking them. But the 3 that were close together were easy to do. But Venice Beach, you definitely need to go see Venice Beach.
That's what I've
It's
been
come a
told.
long way.
Yeah.
The build out of the outside gym itself, which they have, like where you see Arnold training back in the day, is still there, if I remember correctly. Preferably, if you guys get out there, go in the summer around 4th of July weekend or whatever. We'll look the shows up in when we do another one, and find out what shows would be best or optimum for you to go check out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a kick out of that. That's a freak zone, dude.
Yeah,
it's a freak zone.
You want to see that, though.
You do want to see that.
So fun. And
it'll
just
motivate you.
Being in the presence of those kind of people, and maybe with your connections, getting more people to podcast with, and just figuring out,
see who's out there still.
Exactly. It's definitely that's going to be one of my things that I'm really going to have to be adamant about when I'm out there. Is like, I got to talk to these people before I can get on the podcast.
Sure.
So I just get more people, get more connections, obviously.
Yeah, I can call some people out there, see what they're still doing, if they're training out there for you as well. Probably some people in Huntington Beach or Newport Beach area.
I gotcha.
Some people out there, and see if we can get some, something hooked up for you ahead of time.
Yeah,
so you go meet some people, so you're not walking in blinded.
Oh yeah,
because I'm sure that now everybody's like, well, what the hell do you want? Try to walk into my gym with a podcast. What's your fucking motive?
Yeah,
but like here, there is no motive except to inform people. Yeah, which is amazing.
Which is the intent. Yeah, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, like you said, just you do. That's one thing I'm scared about is like people always think that something is needed in return. It's like the whole reason of you being on the podcast. That's the return.
Absolutely.
Like you know what I'm saying. Like it's pretty simple. It's not. I'm not really looking for much. I just want to learn.
Right, and then you exuberate that or send it on to those others, and if one person gets something out of it, it's worth it.
Exactly.
It's amazing that way. That's all it takes. It's just a positive. It's a whole positive realm.
Yes. Yes. So where else are we at? So surfing, you did that in Cali, and what else? What else did you? Bodybuilding.
Did bodybuilding, soccer. Played soccer for years.
So, Ireland.
Yeah.
When were you in Ireland?
We were there. Let's see. I was 15 at the time, so I was born in '69. Go figure. '79. Probably 84, 83. Yeah. Right in there. I graduated in '87. So I was in my first year of high school. I think it was junior, whatever, sophomore, whatever it is, freshman. Jesus Christ, it's been a long time. I was on a team called Los Lobos. We were AAA at the time.
Yeah.
So we had played, which is the Wolves in Spanish.
Yeah.
We had played years together on this particular team. We were all chosen. And then, of course, we had that trip in Ireland, played over there for about 2 weeks. We got smoked, by the way, because they're 15 years, 16 turning pro. Yeah. Over there in Europe. I mean, that's just the standard now.
Yeah, just being so young.
We just got smoked over there, and then we were in Hawaii for some tournaments as well, too, which we did really well. But that was just statewide tournaments. Yeah. Big difference there. As far as statewide goes, we were really, really good. But European-wise, no. We got smoked. 15-0, 12-0, 10-1, stuff like that.
Just to have that difference is kind of
They're wild. Insane. I mean, it's like your hockey players out here are turning, pro now when they're 18?
Yep.
It's just insane.
And it's kind of crazy that in hockey and soccer, you can be at that level
at that
age.
Early. It's insane.
Physically, you go, I mean, you look at Ronaldo or whatever, and he's, 39? Yeah.
And he's still going.
And he's still amazing.
The number one.
Yeah. Crazy. And how are 18-year-olds competing with that is what I want to know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, what are they possibly doing that early, skill-wise?
All sport-specific training, and they've got, as I think you were talking about earlier, as we advance, athletes are just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
The whole realm of supplementation, nutrition, training, advancement in kinesiology, scientific research, that's just throwing everything into a new realm. And I guess to backtrack on what you said, no matter what sport it is, soccer, hockey, bodybuilding,
Yep.
I've been lucky enough to be at 52 today, my birthday, by the way, and to watch that go from the age of 15 to now, and always had, 35 years right in there, to have that opportunity to watch things progress and evolve, which has been, for me, pretty amazing. I haven't stayed in this condition my whole life, but there was probably a small time there, 5-10 years maybe, where I was just maintaining, had the baby was new for the first, say, 5 years, Abigail, and just doing that and working, full time at the salon, plus going to college full time. And I've seen all the advancements go through, which has been pretty cool.
And now, it's kind of crazy too. When I train, you always kind of, in my sense, you always forget that the basics are really that foundational, and you kind of you find yourself thinking like, oh, I need to do this and this to make gains, like these harder types of exercises. Now I'm getting back to the basics, like squat, bench, deadlift,
always,
and just it's not even programming it hard. It's just get better at it and actually progressively overload everything and just be simple and methodical and just do it.
Foundation.
Yes.
I agree with it 100%.
And
that comes from the education we've got too.
Yeah.
Getting into exercise science, kinesiology, and all that. I mean, the first things they start to teach you are the compound movements, all the basics, outside of all the physiology and the anatomy and everything we learn when they get into the training. I mean, it's straight mechanics, physics-based, everything. So you got to be pretty sharp, or at least decently sharp to get through that program.
Yes.
It's not an easy program.
No.
So, and it teaches you basics, like you said. So,
yes. Yeah. No, that's this one at Central, because you did yours out in California.
Yeah, at Long Beach.
The one at Central, I mean, you got a lot of professors from Ireland. That's one thing that I was kind of interested in, like when you were saying that. But you also, one of my professors is super young. He's like 26. Yeah. And it was just super awesome to get his reflection on everything, because he's even being so young, he was still
highly educated,
pound the basics, do this, do that, and I'm just it's definitely something you can look into and just be like, man, if he can do it, obviously I can do it.
Absolutely.
It's nice. So what else we got going here? This is going pretty good.
I like it. Smooth, man. It's smooth. And we got some connections in there too, which is nice. What's nice for me is to watch you get into the realm and get motivated. I was pretty honored when you came up and asked me to do this. Yeah. It made me feel pretty good. Like, you recognized some traits in me, and I'd seen you coming in here getting hardcore, super strict on your training, and I knew you had to have some smarts because I was watching the sport-specific training, the stretch reflex responses you were doing. A lot of people don't do that.
No.
They don't understand, even just the high jumps and everything else you're doing, the compound movements. So I was like, this guy knows what's up. Yeah. So it was comfortable getting with you. And then to find out we got these other, correlations and stuff's pretty cool too.
It's a lot easier to talk to someone when at least they kind of know what they're talking about.
Right.
It's just you're not just thrown to the wolves and then It's definitely, podcasting, I've gotten more and more into it, and the whole asking you to do it, that's honestly the hardest part about the podcast.
To initiate it to somebody.
To initiate it. Because you don't know how they're going to react to it.
Right.
And obviously, even if they react poorly, what are you scared of? They just say no.
Yeah.
Right. It's so annoying that there's still that little thing in your head saying what if they say no? What if they tell me this idea is
rejection.
Stupid? Yeah, rejection is just stupid.
But this helps you with rejection.
Oh, for sure.
The gym and everything else, because how many times are you going to be told, well, I don't know, or no, and that's just their people's own, not insecurity, but their own knowledge of not knowing.
Exactly.
And that's where we come in.
Yes.
Is to help them reduce that.
Yes. So. You will know, because you will experience it.
Yeah.
You will have to, you don't, and it's just like lifting heavy.
Sure.
People are like, oh, I don't want to lift heavy because, well, have you ever lifted heavy?
Right. I don't want to get too big. Well, you're not going to get too big. Trust me. You're not going to get too big. It's going to take a fucking minute. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It takes a hot second to get that going.
And it's so all the things you hear people say when it comes to training, it's so annoying sometimes. All the the newbies, it's just or girls, I don't want to get yoked. I don't want to be the muscular girl. It's
You realize
not
what
good.
muscular girls do every day to
Right.
get to that point?
Right.
Trust me, you're not going to get
It's
there.
4 hours a day.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
you're
or
not
whatever.
going to get there like
Right.
overnight. And they're like, well, I don't like to lift because I don't. That's not how you lose weight. I'm like, weird, because girls that have a lot of muscle
Or get leaner.
tend to have not very much fat.
Right.
Like it's pretty simple to see that.
I think too, to elaborate on that, what you're saying is there's an intimidation factor on their end, and then someone like yourself or myself or some of the people here, they're great trainers here.
Yeah.
Everybody's awesome here. It allows us to open up that door for them,
Yeah.
so they feel more comfortable with what they need to ask or what they don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of that's just them not having him or her not having the knowledge that they need to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
So the typical stereotype, like you said, is that umbrella of I don't want to get too big or I don't want to be too ripped. I mean, come on, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to be ripped. We all want
Yes.
to look good. We want to be healthy and have a great physical outlook. You know,
Yes.
not only mental as well.
Yes.
And that's what the training does. It makes that all better.
No, for sure. When so another couple podcasts I've had has been all about like mental health and everything.
Sure.
So,
Perfect question.
I mean,
yeah.
it's one of the main things that training does for me is like I honestly like think about it every day. Like I go throughout my day and I usually plan my day around
Your training.
my training session.
Sure.
At least whatever my day consists of, then I'll think, okay, this is the time I have to train. So like if I have to do it at 6 a.m.,
Right.
like I got to wake up and do it. And it's so easy
Yeah.
to me at this point in my like career of lifting. It's so easy for me to wake up at 5 and go lift at 6.
Because you're motivated.
Yeah, like you understand the positives of the situation, so
And
you want to do it.
And to jump back to what you're saying about the mental health issue, you know, as a Marine, as a combat Marine, and also, you know, with some ailments that came from the military, I had some TBI and stuff on, you know, some head injuries, things like that. This, for me, is a sanctuary.
Yeah.
It allows me to come and reset myself and, you know, take care of my mental health.
Yeah.
From a physical and a mental point of view,
Yeah.
because not only you know increasing endorphins and adrenaline, you're also creating a healthy lifestyle for yourself as well.
For sure.
You know, it doesn't mean I don't go out and have a drink, and doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
not gonna drink some sake tonight at my birthday, because I freaking certainly am. You know, and eat some sushi, but you know that mental health thing is probably almost more important, if not as important, as the physical element that's
Yes.
with what we're doing. And if people would realize that, they wouldn't really even care about getting too big or too small or too ripped. Their whole day, like you said, would revolve around the one mainstay of being healthy.
Yes.
And what does that do? That creates longevity, better relationships.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's
The
amazing.
positives are endless, and it's not. It's like the being able to move. Like when you get older, it's
Yeah.
the being able to move. Like, can you pick up? Like if you drop a pencil, can you pick it up and not
Right.
like moan and like have pain? Like there's no need for that. There's so many things that you can do to limit that. But no, back to the mental health.
Sure.
Everyone obviously goes through that, and everyone has those troubles, and a lot of people don't know how to talk about it.
Right.
Obviously, and I mean, it's just something that people aren't willing to communicate, not only with relatives or actually people close to them. I found that the talks I've had on mental health with random people or people that I don't know nearly as well have been the ones that have been the most enlightening, I
Sure.
should say, because that's just, you never know what people are going through.
Right.
And like to have that kind of in the back of your head, I always think about like, obviously you said it earlier, it's a lot easier to be nice than to be a dick.
Sure. Absolutely.
So like when you think about it, you go throughout a day, hold the door open for people, knuckle touch, say hi, whatever. Like you don't realize at some point in that day, one of those people probably like their whole day was changed because of that.
I agree with you, man. Freaking right on for that, for real.
sure.
And you know what? To go further with that, when that's just our lifestyle or how we do it,
Yep.
I mean, you're positive every time I see you,
Yep.
Ben. Everybody here is always positive. It only emulates more. You know, and like you said, you don't know that one person, that guy or gal or that kid
Yep.
or that woman might be going through something really bad that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just feel that energy. Like, it's like, hey, man, everything's cool.
You're good, yeah.
You know,
You're at a
hello
gym,
makes
yeah.
a huge difference.
Yes.
Sure.
You're at a gym right now. Be present in where you're at.
Sure.
Like you came here to do this.
Yep.
Be 100% in this moment, and then you'll be
It's guaranteed to leave with a high, with a natural high. It's
exactly.
amazing.
As long as you give in to the fact that you're here to lift, don't think about anything else, because guess what?
Right.
That nothing else matters in this moment. You just got to go in there, you got to bench, you got to squat, and you got to feel it out.
that
It's
natural
so
process
nice.
of mental and physical starts
Yes.
to play its role
Yes.
and just really make you feel good.
And
I agree.
once you can like figure out how to control that mental state, control that fact of like, I'm obviously here to do something, then you control that going to work.
Yeah.
So
everything
like,
else.
say if you have, I mean, I don't have like, people have shitty jobs. People don't like their jobs. You go into work every day and you think, well, I'm here, I'm getting paid to do a job. I don't have to worry about anything else right now other than doing this job. So now the mindset isn't I have to do this job. It's I'm here, I might as well do it to the best of my ability, and hopefully something good comes of it later.
Sure.
And just having that mindset, like, just being positive is so hard for people in a world where the negatives are pointed out right in your face every time you
Especially
look at
with
your phone and
COVID in
everything.
the last couple years,
Yes.
it's just been a nightmare. You
Yeah.
know, I like what you said about, you know, the gym and the positiveness and leaving everything in the gym, because then when you're done with that, you take that natural endorphin rush with you into whatever you're doing next.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like you said, that allows you a better mental state to release. Let's say you're going through a divorce or one of your children are sick or whatever else. It allows you to take a break from that and become healthier for that moment.
Yes.
And then that goes on to the next moment. And you build, and then we go back to consistency.
Yes.
And then we go back into being, you know, repetitive and training, and then we put nutrition and everything else in it. And then it becomes, like you said, a 5 a.m. daily routine.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
And it's
know?
and what that point as a kid, you're just like, I can't even wake up at 5 a.m.
Right.
Like all this other stuff, and you grow so much through the progress of doing things like that.
Sure.
You grow so much.
It's I like I said, at 52, I got Ben here. I got you know, Kyle, who's younger, Sabrina, who I train with, all of them. For me, every day is exciting to come work with my crew.
Yeah.
I love it. You know, Ben and I just spent 8 months prepping for a show, which he took third at. Was it third? Took fourth at for his first major national qualifying bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
So then we went back, and then now we reconvene and do everything we need to do. You know,
Yeah.
Sabrina will be getting ready for another show too. So will Kyle, and those commitments just come so easy because we're all on the same mental level.
Yeah.
But you know, taking someone who's say 20 on average to 24. To my age, it's amazing that we can collaborate and meet and come together and still
yes.
have the same interests.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Oh, no,
because
it's-
most of your older people are like, well, I'm better than you, I'm more successful, I'm this and that. This little kid over here. No, these kids are doing great for me. I have commitment with them. I have dedication, and they're teaching me stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're not learning, then you're naive.
Yes.
You got to be open to learning.
That's one of the things I've been reading a little bit more too, in like the white belt mentality. Like no matter who you are, you always have a white belt on. You
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're not an expert.
You're not an expert.
Right.
You may be, but
Right.
you don't. You never know. Someone's gonna come out of nowhere and shake up your whole idea of everything.
Sure.
And it just being able to at least be open to that, rather than closing it off, because like we said, there's no hurt in it. There's no hurt in understanding that you may be wrong. But
Exactly.
There's definitely hurt in
And
thinking
yeah.
like you're always right.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
it's that kind of mentality has been what I'm hopefully like trying to been cultivating throughout like this time of my life, just being young. Like
Sure.
I really
How
like,
old are you right now?
23.
Shoot, man, you're rocking for 23. You got it, yeah.
I honestly, and with that exercise science degree, I honestly don't know what I want to do with it.
Yeah, you might do research, you might do this, or
Exactly.
you might end up just doing this.
Exactly.
You know,
Like, you
going
don't
out to
know-
Cali.
Yeah. That was the whole thing of the podcasting. It's just I want to learn more from other people just to get an idea of like what could be out there.
Again, learning.
Exactly.
Opening your mind to the
Always-
diversity
yes.
of what's available. Because so many people structure themselves just for exercise science.
Yes.
And then they want to go into PT. And then they end up not liking it. And then they had no other options that they explored at the time.
Yep.
Well, then I'll go back to personal training. Well, you're already looking at personal training. You're already looking at exercise science. Now you're looking at podcasts, and you're adding all these different elements to entrepreneur in you,
Yes.
which is good.
Cutting hair.
Yeah, exactly. Cutting hair at the same time, too. So, shoot, you might have more clients today.
Yeah, good. That's awesome.
Recruit all those people from Supercuts or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
great cuts.
It's I mean, it's easy. Like when it comes to cutting hair, it's just so fun because like
Yeah.
I started off with one of my buddies in college,
Right.
and he just gets a buzz cut pretty much, and I was just like, okay, well, let me practice fading on you.
Sure.
And he's like, okay, cool. So like just practice that, and then all of a sudden someone else sees it, and they're like, well, and then COVID hit,
Right.
And it was like, I tell you
Yeah.
what. My business blew up then. I
Right.
wasn't even trying. I was just like, people were at home. and
Referral
they're like,
services,
and they
yeah.
were sitting there. They're like, well, who can we go get our hair cut? I'm like, well, Nate'll come over and cut
Right.
your hair if you want him to. And he's like, well, $10. And I was like, okay, cool. Like,
Fuck yeah.
just go over to people's house in my
Right.
bag, cut their hair real quick. And then, not only that, but like, all these people that I would have not normally seen anyway. So now I got all these friends that like, I mean, they're friends.
Yeah.
But they're also people like I haven't seen in a year and a half. And
Yeah.
just like, oh, can you come cut my hair? It's like,
Yeah,
well,
because of COVID.
yeah, you
know?
trust me enough to cut your hair,
Right.
and I can catch up with you. Sick. I'll come
Benny,
over, I'll come
benefits
over right
all day
now.
long,
Yeah,
you know?
I'll come over
Yeah.
right now. It's
Yeah,
so fun.
I agree. That's good. You got a pretty mature outlook for your age. It's
Yes.
just appreciated, man. That's good. You know, it sounds like you're on cue with kind of what you want to do and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the whole Cali thing I think will be amazing for you. It's
Yeah.
a whole new experience.
Yes.
Coming from Michigan, I don't know. We have to look at the logistics at some point, you and I, and
Yeah.
figure out which way would be the best for you to go, whether it's
Yep.
north to south,
Yep.
or you and I would probably say start south
Yeah.
and work your way up and go to San Diego and then get your surprise in Orange County area and then go to Venice and everything else
Yeah.
and work your way up. Because by the time you hit Venice, you're going to be extra motivated, and then you start heading up north a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to go all the way through Oregon or anything
Yeah,
else.
we plan on
but,
going all the
yeah,
way
I
up
got
to
some
Oregon,
friends
yeah.
in Oregon too, and some
Gotcha.
family in Washington State as well,
Dang.
so I can make
There
some
you go.
other calls. My sister trains with a professional soccer guy out there in Spokane,
Dang.
in the Paulsville area,
Yeah.
which is a really nice area. So he knows some people up there too. So I probably have some people maybe all the way up the coast for you. We'll see.
That's crazy.
You know, I can't say for sure, but
No,
you know,
that's
you
no.
never
Just
know.
having the option is
Sure.
great. Well, I'm just thinking of this. I'm getting more into like videos and too. Like I want to actually have a YouTube channel, all that.
Sure.
You know, and it would be cool. Obviously, I'm just spitballing, but like when you talk about working with professional trainers or professional like athletes,
Right.
just sitting in on one of their workouts.
Oh, yeah.
And then podcasting with them after, like that's just the snowball that I hope like that effect
Yeah.
happens. You know, like if I can just one or two people are really gonna jump you into the next level when it comes to like stuff like this, but you just got to be open enough to talk to them.
Yeah, and there's people out there that do want to help.
Yeah.
You know, like myself and
Yeah.
like you. I mean,
Yeah.
you're helping me at the same time that we're
Yeah.
helping each other. There's no take here. It's all give.
It's all
which is
mutual, yeah.
amazing. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to go.
It's nice. And like I don't know if you've ever heard this too. I don't know exactly the statistic, but you're 3 people, from what I've heard, you're 3 people from knowing everyone in the world. Which is kind of crazy to think about, because like
Yeah.
just that web of connections,
Right, within those 3 people.
Within those 3 people,
Right.
that is those 3 are the missing pieces to like the whole
Right.
connection. And just to think,
Like
if you
1,
could,
2, 3 umbrella, and then it's
Yeah.
all underneath that. So yeah,
could
for
you
sure.
just imagine like you'll never know those 3 people, obviously, unless you're putting yourself out there trying to meet them. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of whole.
And there's always a little risk with that too.
Oh,
like
for
you
sure.
said earlier with the rejection. But if
Yeah.
you get past that and you come at people sincerely, it takes them just a hot second, sometimes a little bit longer, because they're not really sure what you're
They're
coming
not
at
ready
them
for it. Yeah.
You know, I've had people in here like, man, how do you stay positive all the time and this and that? And I'm like, well, I'm here. This is positive for
Yeah.
me. You know, this makes my day every day.
Yeah.
Being here, and also, and more importantly, of equal importance, just being with my daughter in here too.
Yeah.
I mean, my Father's Day was, hey, Dad, can we go train today?
Yeah.
Of course we can go train today. Let's hop in the car. I mean, I have a
go.
15-year-old kid. COVID hit. There was everything else that was going on. The kids weren't in gymnastics anymore or anything else. And they needed an outlet. I think I'm probably one of the only fathers outside of the 2 other ones that train their kids in here, which is amazing. You know, have them come in
I
here.
love seeing the couple that always brings their little girl in.
Yeah,
here. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
there
They're
was-
here in the evenings. They're
Yep.
motivated.
Yep.
And she's adorable doing her thing.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I think there's probably about 5 or 6 kids that come in, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, with their folks, which is really nice. And this is the environment they can do it in. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of
You
other
don't
gyms,
see- yeah.
you can't do that in other gyms.
No.
And that's one of the things I like about Evolution is that it's really family oriented.
Yeah.
You know, it's hardcore if it needs to be, but it's also family oriented.
Yes.
And that's a rarity. I told Adam and Tracy, I've never seen a gym like this.
I've never
Ever.
Yeah, you've never.
And I've trained around the world. I was in Europe and trained for 90 days.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, I was over there training in 98 too as well. or at 96-ish, me and my buddy went over there for 3 months.
Where in Europe?
Oh gosh, we landed in London, took the channel over to Brussels, and then from Brussels we went to Amsterdam. I had some friends that were in the arts there, that we were performers, and then that was our base center of travel.
Yeah.
So we went north to Scandinavian countries, we went south through Italy down to Corfu and Greece. We were in France, Germany, everywhere, and I trained everywhere I went. You know, it was awesome.
What's the culture when it comes to training in Europe compared to like America?
It's wide open. It's a professional sport there. It's totally respected.
Yeah.
We were treated like gold when we were over
Really?
there. I think I was about 220, 230 at the time, just yoked.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, back then they had the Grand Prix Tour, which was one of the biggest European bodybuilding tours at the time. I wasn't competing in it because I wasn't professional at the time. But you know, everywhere we went, we were, especially coming through Germany and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we just looked like meatheads, and they were like, "Come on through, guys."
Yeah.
You know,
Germany's kind of like the basis, though. Like in Russia.
Yeah,
when it
Netherlands
comes to-
as well too.
yeah, when it
Netherlands
comes
is
to
great
training.
too. Yeah, Germany and Russia for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go back to the Olympics and look at everything.
you always
They're the
'cause
leaders.
There's a couple of guys that I follow on Instagram and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and all they do is talk about the old Russian books and like how far ahead they were.
Oh yeah,
in their time
mechanically
compared to everyone else.
Totally, whether it was from whatever realm it was. Yeah. But Europe is completely wide open. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's another thing, trip you might want to take at some point. Once all this COVID and shit blows over and you can travel internationally.
Yes.
Because the gyms there remind me a lot of the San Diego gyms and gyms like this.
Yeah.
You know, typically smaller, dungeon style stuff. And when we were in Stockholm, we were training at this one place. It was like underground. In the Netherlands, Cindy, a friend of mine, owned the gym. We trained there every day. There's pictures of Barry DeMay and all your old school 80 guys.
Yeah.
You know, the bikes with the turn wheels on them for cardio.
Oh, there you
The
go.
old tanning beds go like 30 minutes. You know, once everybody was getting, cancer from back in the day. But Europe is amazing.
Oh,
That's
man.
another quest you
trip,
may want to
yeah.
look at for sure.
So actually, super funny. My brother went to Europe after he graduated college, and he took like a 6-month trip.
Nice.
And the first 2 months, I think he had a friend. The rest was just him on his own, going to
Backpacking,
hostels.
that's what we did.
Whatever he wanted to do. And he's been like really trying to get back. And I told him, I was like, dude, the instant you want to go back is the instant I'm gonna go with you. And
You
I was
definitely
like,
got to go.
and that's one of the, like, obviously you kind of get the travel bug. Once you get it, you don't obviously want to stop it.
No,
it's
insane, dude.
I want to travel, and I've literally been to Florida and North Carolina and Myrtle Beach.
Okay, yeah,
that's all I've
everybody's
been
to Myrtle Beach, for sure. But
so
that's the extent of your worldly travels.
Exactly,
And
which
you're
is
already
nothing.
this mature and this ready to roll. So that's awesome.
I wanna do more. I wanna see more. We were actually looking at a place in Thailand, and it was a Muay Thai gym, and it was like a Bengals gym or something, and it was legit for $2,000 or $3,000. You stay there for a month. They'll feed you, house you,
That's so
and
cheap.
train you
Nice.
that whole month. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude. I mean, we're obviously not going to become badasses in a month.
But a month of culture and being in there, and having the best in the world train you.
Exactly.
You can't beat that.
You can't.
It's like going to Golds, or having the best people train you. That's
Yes.
awesome, man.
It would be freaking just life changing to go. And I got a couple foreign exchange students that came to my high school that are from Thailand, and I was like, hey, we're gonna come see you when we go do this, obviously, and you guys can give us the tour.
Hell yeah, that's the way to go.
More connections, more podcasts, more whatever we can do.
You scratch their back, they scratch yours, and the Thai people are amazing. I haven't been to Thailand per se, but I know people.
Yeah.
One of my good friends or my old colleagues, John Huntington, owns Huntington International Travel, and he's based out of Bali area over there. So I might have some more people for you over there. So
and it's crazy just the culture when they like come over and talk to us about like what we do and everything and how they do it, and it's just like I think for the most part all the people that I deal with are pretty nice, open people.
Right. Well, that's what you attract.
Exactly.
You're not going to attract some narcissistic, negative people. That's just not your style.
Exactly. Okay.
So yeah,
that works too.
Yeah.
But like when you go to Thailand, and one of my friends, her name is Babe. When she was like, he's like, that's everywhere in Thailand. Like everyone is like that. Everyone's much more open, much more available. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, it would be like, obviously I haven't experienced it yet, but to be able to experience that, and especially the culture in California is going to be completely different than the culture in Michigan. Like it's, I mean, not only geographically, but just the people in the area. It's going to be, and the experiences, the ability to do what you can out there, you can't do here.
Sure.
So it'd just be fun to like have that kind of conversations with people, have that kind of experience.
It'll open up everything for you.
Yeah.
You know, at 52, I can say that I've pretty much traveled the world, whether it was through the Marine Corps or on my own. I always loved traveling. I always loved culture, and I always loved meeting people. And that was, I think you either have that trait, that characteristic, which I can see you have it, and you develop it, like you said, at a young age.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back to your customer service, working with your father.
Yes.
And those are traits, characteristics that you'll have forever. And that's what will help you do this business.
Yeah.
Big time. So
That's what I'm hoping for.
we do on time, right? Oh, cool. Let's wrap this if we can. So
Gotcha.
Training, yeah.
So how do we want to wrap this?
I don't know. We want to roll into another session here at some other point and just kind of leave it off where we are right here.
Yeah. Let's go.
Not to cut you off too soon, but I got to get to
you're good.
training too. So that's an hour and 15. We're rolling, man.
Yeah.
It's smooth. You were exactly right on that.
Yeah.
I could probably keep going for another 2 hours.
Oh no, it's I've had people just completely forget that this is even.
I didn't even. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just all of a sudden. I thought I looked. It was like 11:15. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang. So yeah.
No,
it's,
if we actually, that was kind of smooth enough.
Yeah, I like that, man. I appreciate that,
Yep.
Nate. I look forward to hopefully getting with you again. And I guess can I finalize the note and just say evolution's been amazing.
Yes.
And it's a great gym. I think you're aware of that too
Yes,
as well.
for
And
sure.
I couldn't ask for any other better gym to be training at right now.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't
for
ask
all
for a
those
better-
people out there,
Yep.
let them know.
Yes,
For real.
for sure. You got anything else to plug or?
Just want to say thanks, brother.
Yep.
And looking forward to being 52 and healthy. That's,
Yep.
right
Gotcha.
on.
We'll get another one of these in for
Sounds
sure
good.
with Ben and whoever
Yeah,
else.
that'd be great.
If we want to get them all sitting in here, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then we can
That'd
talk
be
about the training and the camaraderie and everything else.
and
So,
how it
cool.
goes.
We solid?